And welcome back to Cigar Time, your friendly neighborhood TV show all about premium cigars.
You got it all out without a moment's hesitation. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's only the 800th time I've done it, but 800th time's a charm, I guess.
I guess so.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for showing up. Scott.
Cheers.
Thanks for showing up. And Scott.
Scott, yeah. Actually, today we are smoking the latest and greatest cigar from Viva La Vida. It's called the El Pulpo. Is that how you say it?
El Pulpo.
El Pulpo.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that a squid or an octopus?
It's an octopus.
It's an octopus.
Octopi.
Why is he wearing a hat?
Yes, he's wearing a
he's
hat,
a
and the
festive
hat
one.
says AT on it, which I sent a picture of that down to Art and said, apparently you were involved.
Yeah.
Really? I don't see it.
It's on.
Right in the middle of the hat.
El Pulpo stands for what, Paul?
It means octopus.
Or squid.
It's always been, I guess, a joke to myself that there are stores all over Spanish-speaking Central and South America called pulperias, and I always assumed that meant they were octopus stores.
Okay.
But it's not. They are actually juice bars. And
Pulp. P-U-L-P.
and area means store, so it's basically a pulp store,
Okay.
completely unrelated to pulpo.
Gotcha.
As I understand it, they named this cigar El Pulpo because it's supposed to wrap its multiple arms around you and provide 8 different experiences.
And squirt you ink.
Squirting on
Hopefully
you, yeah.
not.
It
Although
smells
I'll
delicious.
tell you, in Ecuador, squid on rice with ink is a daily dish.
This is why I
So
don't
it's
eat deli.
black. It's black rice, and your mouth turns black while you
One
eat
of the
it.
reasons I don't like Central American food. It's horrible.
So you wouldn't go for cuy either. I
No.
disagree, by the way, about Central America.
Okay.
I think some of it is phenomenally good.
They stole that from the
I
Italians.
sometimes.
There's no such time as any time as
You hate plantains.
hate
so.
plantains.
I don't know how to prepare it.
No.
Anyway,
This smells delicious.
It
Pre-rice.
does. It's got a very deep kind
Yeah.
of aroma to it. The blend on paper is super simple.
Yeah.
It's a Mexican San Andres wrapper, or as some people like to call it, San Andreas, but that's wrong.
That's
That's
wrong.
their
That's their
fault.
fault.
That's a fault, yes.
Yeah.
It's John's fault. The filler and binder are all Nicaraguan, all grown on various farms by A.J. Fernandez, who produces the cigar as well. I think this is their the company is actually not called Viva La Vida. It's called Artesanos Del Tobacco.
Yeah. But it's Viva La Vida.
Well, that was their first brand.
Yeah.
First brand. This is their second brand, El Pulpo.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this is the first brand since they decided to do their own distribution instead of working through AJ.
Right.
AJ will continue to produce their cigars,
Right.
but they're doing their own distribution now.
Viva La Vida.
In 3 words.
In 3 words. Viva La Vida. So, you and I had one of these yesterday.
Yeah, I couldn't wait.
I know.
The second they
I saw
showed
you.
up.
I was jealous. I saw you smoking it. I'm like, all right, I gotta have one.
Well, I had to jump on it and take a picture and write about it.
That's true. So if you want to go on Paul Major's Facebook page, and you can see the write-up about it.
I don't know if it's even on. I guess it would be if I posted it elsewhere.
Is it on the
would.
Cigar page?
Yes, it is.
Go to Cigar's Facebook page, and you'll see.
Yep.
Paul's write-up.
Although it doesn't have my name on it.
What are you doing?
Here's your hat.
Does it have the hat? Oh yeah, of course. All the pictures have the hat. So the blend is very simple. I am almost not in a hurry to light this, which is unusual for me.
Yeah.
But I think the dry draw flavor is so good.
Very good, yeah.
This is a cigar I could just chew on all day.
I was getting a very earthy, like through the smell, when I was smelling the foot, I was getting an earthy cocoa smell through the foot.
Again, there's a nice bit of barnyard in the smell,
Yeah.
too, at the foot.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Retro Hell?
Yes, this is a powerful, retro ale.
Just try not to sneeze. You know, I've had 3 puffs of this, and each one has been completely different.
Well, that's the 8 arms in action.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
I-
So you got
so I
5
expect
more
5
coming.
more, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quick math.
Let me try yours. I know how to do it too. That's why you pulled it back.
Exactly right.
I guess not too surprisingly, this cigar starts out with a serious blast of pepper. But it,
I haven't. It was not the pepper that was making me sneeze, just the fact that I retrohale. But I haven't noticed the pepper yet.
well, now your taste buds
Man,
are
it
shot
just-
because you just burned them out
It went right
with
up
that
my
retro
nose.
ale.
It went up the wrong way.
I mean, my
My nose.
olfactory
Yeah.
senses.
It is. Yesterday, you and I were going back and forth. You said it was a full-bodied cigar, and I said it wasn't. Not to say that it was a mild cigar. I just don't think it was as full-bodied as
As
you
I thought it was,
Now this one
it's coming through
is
more.
coming through more full-bodied. Yeah.
Well,
Definitely. But
I
I haven't gotten any pepper.
I think the
Really?
fullness and the pepperiness and all of the other elements really depend on where in the cigar you are. I think this has been blended to change a lot. And so what I experienced when I first lit it up yesterday was very different than even 10 minutes later.
Okay.
Like totally different.
The front of my tongue is numb already because of the pepper.
Really?
Yeah, huge pepper bomb.
Maybe it's because I have a headache.
Maybe. Or you just don't know what you're talking about. One of the two.
Probably the second one.
Whoosh, what do you think? Give your first impression, sir.
I'm getting the pepper too. I'm also getting a little cocoa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So far, it's been good. Burning nice.
Yeah.
Good smoke.
Well, on the first, when I first lit it, it reminded me of Punch from like 20 years ago.
Like a Grand Cru, or just a regular punchline.
Probably the regular Punchline.
Maduro.
Yeah, that and the original Upman, because I always thought the Upman and the Punch were similar way back. And then the second puff completely changed. I haven't even tried to identify what the flavors are. Just enjoying it.
Okay.
Well, I agree with Mike. There's a lot of cocoa behind the pepper.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, who the hell
Who's
is
Mike?
Moose, excuse me. Who the hell is
Seriously,
it?
Yes, I do have a real name.
I'm sitting there thinking, did he just call
Yeah,
me
and it's
Mike?
not Mike.
But it is my name.
It's your middle name.
Yes, true it is.
Oh, I thought that was your real name.
It is
My
his real
full
name.
name is George Michael Charles Metzger.
Nice.
So, George is my father. I go by Mike. Except around here, I go by Moose because there was too many Mikes.
Yeah, that is true.
That is a fact.
There seems to be a heat inversion in the air right in front of the lights.
Yeah.
The smoke is just sitting there.
Yeah,
There's
every
no
puff
air.
is completely different.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned earthiness on
Yeah.
the dry draw. I'm getting a lot of earth now. Before I was getting some almost cocoa or sweetness.
There's definitely a
You know what I
sweet
find?
tobacco note in here too.
It changes. We're all smoking the same cigar, but we're getting different flavors in the beginning.
It's very complex.
So, well, yeah, but what I'm saying is they blended it for all the different flavors they wanted, but they didn't, okay, we want this here, this here, this here, this here, this here. It's just all through the cigar, so everybody's getting something a little different.
So by the end of the cigar, we all will have gone on the same journey, but we're in different spots on it now.
That's a great blend. That's a great.
That
that's a great-
is very artistic blending.
Yes. These guys had a.
Because it took me about 3 puffs before I got any pepper at all.
Yeah.
I was just getting the earthiness, and then boom, got the pepper.
The guys who
Somewhat.
own this company,
They used to own a
they used to
lounge.
own a
a big
own
one.
a cigar lounge.
I
Yeah,
think
and
in
a
New
store.
York.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just came out, decided to come out with cigars, and they did. And
Well,
it
they
was
sold
very
the, they
popular.
sold the lounges first, and then they came out with the cigars. Was it
I forget what it was called.
not Smoke Inn? That's in Florida.
Yeah. But
Something very similar to that.
these guys know how to blend. I mean, I'm sure they went down to Nicaragua to help AJ and give him some guidance of what they wanted. These guys are pretty smart.
I think they did an excellent job, although AJ is all over this blend.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
as
yeah,
you
yeah.
smoke it, you can't miss that this is an AJ product.
Yeah.
Except for the lack of pepper. Seriously, I mean, maybe it's because I read Paul's, he's talked about being a powerhouse pepper, and you said that this morning. And I mean, maybe it's just, I was
Expecting?
yeah, maybe
Okay.
it's just not.
You ruined your taste buds on the retro.
Yeah, I think so.
I have a retro
Because it
hotel.
is a monster
I'm
retro.
too scared. I'm scared.
You're
It's a retro house.
I'm scared.
Scared.
I'm scared. So,
The only adult I've ever heard say that before
yes.
was Joe Pesci in My Cousin Vinny. He said something about being scared. And that's the way I always said it as a kid.
Yeah.
I think that's Lou Costello's line.
I'm scared.
So, okay, Paul, what do you think of first impressions?
It just keeps changing up. I'm getting almost like a pruny, raisiny note right now,
Okay.
which is interesting. It's kind of sweet, but sweet and earthy at the same time. I'm also getting some sweet tobacco now. I like it.
Okay.
That's my first impression.
All right.
And my tongue is numb.
I think I might be nervous about standing up after this is done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nicotine in this cigar.
I said that yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely. It's itching and burning the back of my throat. I can't even describe. There's so much going on.
Yeah.
It changes with each puff.
Literally
Yeah, so
every puff.
So every puff is like a first impression because it's just different.
I mean, now I'm getting the sweetness. So just boom, boom, boom.
And to your
It's
point-
changed 3 times.
To your point, I got it earlier,
Yeah.
Now,
and now I'm getting the
Could
cocoa.
that, Paul? Can that be from? They break off a little bit of tobacco and then they put it, they fill it in.
they
different
can
places.
they
that
can
help?
do it that way. Most don't plan. They just stick it wherever there's a void in the bunch.
So then that could change. That could affect why you're getting something now and somebody else gets it a little
That
bit
could
later.
be
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah, if they're
Normally-
filling
normally-
in different spots.
Yeah, if they're filling in different spots, you would hit that. But this tastes like they planned it that way.
No.
Could be.
Well, if
To
they
me,
didn't, they got really lucky.
Yeah, really. Like,
How many different fillers are there? I mean, so I know it's all
Usually
Nicaraguan,
4 or
but
5.
It didn't. There wasn't a. They didn't specify
it didn't.
what it was.
They didn't
No.
break it down to what regions of Nicaragua.
They just said various tobaccos, all grown on various AJ farms.
Yeah, well, the regions matter.
Oh, yeah.
How they fermented it matters.
It all
How
matters.
it aged. So
So they made it exactly, I guess, exactly how they wanted it to be. I find, and I found this yesterday too, that right around ½ inch to an inch in, the pepper back's way off and everything else just comes exploding out.
Wow, oh man, different taste every time you puff on the cigar. It's a different taste.
I'm getting a little bit of citrusy.
I
I'm
just
not
got
getting
a
that.
blast of cocoa.
Yeah, there's a lot of cocoa.
Holds the ash nice.
And it's a good looking ash.
Yeah.
And what are the? You said this is the Grand Toro, right? And
Yes.
it comes in also Robusto and
Robusto
Bellicoso.
and Bellicoso. There's
Are
3
there other-
sizes.
Do they have other sizes? That's just the ones we
3
got.
sizes. No,
I wonder why Bellicoso.
I don't know.
I think they gave that as an exclusive to somebody, the Bellicoso.
We have them.
Did we get Bellicosos?
Not in our store. We only got 3 boxes. 'cause
There's
I had
a-
to buy 3 boxes.
Company that gets the rights to do one-off sizes. Maybe that's what it is. I forget the name of it.
They're
It's
out
like-
of Texas. New Horizons or something like that.
It's I could find out, but like they have a
New Discovery.
Maybe that.
Nah, it's not them. It's a small company. They do either, is it a Lancero? Yeah, Lancero of the Viva La Vida. They do a one-off size of J London stuff. There's a bunch of stuff. They just somehow they get permission to do one-off sizes.
Really?
New Horizons used to do that more with the bigger companies, not the boutique guys. In fact, Dan used to rep them.
Wait a minute.
It's New Discovery.
Yeah.
They all come in tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah, glass tubes. We met
were-
those guys.
Yeah, but you met you met this company that does the one-off sizes of the that I'm talking about. Remember when we sat there talking with Jonathan Fion
Yeah.
last year?
Yes. Yes.
Those
yeah,
guys.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But
what
it's
the-
not. It's not the same as the one
No, no.
you're talking about.
No.
No.
No, that's a bigger company.
Yeah. And you're right. They used to do
It's Brian.
Brian. Yeah, the guy's huge. I forget his partner's name. I forget. But they're out of Texas. But yeah, the New Discoveries. They have everything they do is in a tube, and it's just one specific size, and it's
From
for
a lot of major
major
manufac-
companies. Yeah, like Altatis and General and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I still have some of those Monte Cristo.
Monte Cruz.
No. Oh no, the Romeo that they did.
Really?
I think so.
I think that was their biggest seller.
That or Monte.
Speaking of Lanceros, could you imagine this in a Lancero? Wow. That
Or a
would
Corona.
that would be,
Corona would be nice.
phenomenal.
Corona would be nice.
You okay over there?
That'd be interesting.
Equipment failure.
Don't shoot the gun with the fake bullets in it.
Scott, do we have any events coming up?
Not that I know of.
Shut up.
Yes. There's actually 2 tomorrow. One of
Really?
them is in Lancaster with Forged, and Forged has, I can never remember the difference. It's Bolivar,
Boulevard Partagas,
Partagas,
La Gloria Cabana,
LaGloria Cabana,
Chillin' Moose,
Chilla Moose,
All the Alec Bradley.
Diesel.
Diesel,
Diesel's the biggest one.
all the Alec Bradley.
All the
Now.
all the Alec Bradley stuff. Yeah.
Anyway, it's in Lancaster from 2 to 6. Also tomorrow, there's Perdomo from 3 to 7 in a store that I'm not going to mention. It's Richboro.
Oh, okay.
And then next Thursday, same 2 events, just Perdomo from 3 to 7 in Phoenixville, and then Forged in Downingtown from 3 to 7. So tomorrow, the 18th, Thursday, and then the following Thursday, the 25th,
Nice.
are the events.
We'll
Tomorrow.
we'll
and
say
next
this.
week.
We'll tell you that later, just in case you didn't have a pencil to write that down.
Why don't they just
Okay.
scan the QR code on the TV?
Okay.
You ever notice that? They're like, the company will advertise, or you'll see something like, see it a lot on the Today Show, like scan the QR code, and it's there for like 5 seconds, as if I'm sitting there with my phone waiting for a QR code to show up on the TV.
Well, I got to tell you, at 66 years of age, I have never scanned a QR code.
You're only 66.
I know I've smoked
never
enough
scanned
cigars for a 90-year-old, but
Like in you haven't even like in a
You've
restaurant?
smoked enough cigars
Never.
for a 100-year-old.
Yeah, right. I know if it was a pain in the
12 a day. That's a lot.
butt. Once we were allowed out after COVID, they weren't giving out menus, and you had to scan a QR code.
Yep.
well, maybe my wife did that then, because I've never done one. I don't even know how to make the phone do it.
Well, it's easy.
It's
Before
very
you used to
easy.
have it get an app. Now you just take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Actually, just open your camera and point it at it, and
It'll come up.
And
By
the
itself.
The camera realizes it's a QR code.
Yeah.
Oh,
puts it in
okay.
the proper
Well,
place.
that's
very
easy. Even I can do it.
it's easy to create QR codes too.
Is it?
Yeah, I did it maybe 10 years ago. I was doing all those reviews for cigars, and I would put a QR code on our shelf talkers.
Yes.
People could use their scanner, and then they could go and see the review. I thought it was a great idea. It's just people don't have 3 minutes to listen to me wax poetic about some stupid cigar.
Well,
You're right.
they sit for a half hour and listen to you wax poetry.
See, I disagree. I don't think they do.
They don't listen to you at all.
listen.
Okay.
That's
So,
really- what did you have to talk about there, Paul?
well, interestingly, I was thinking that despite the fact that this is a Mexican and Nicaraguan cigar,
Right.
that I wanted to talk a little bit about Dominican cigar history because we don't talk about that.
Okay.
I haven't talked about it on the show in years.
Because we never smoked Dominican cigars.
That might have something to do with it. So everybody, when you
Okay.
talk about the history of Dominican cigars, everybody talks about how Christopher Columbus came to the Dominican Republic, and when they sailed back, one of the guys brought some tobacco with him, and everybody knows that part of the story. It's what happened
They do
later.
now.
It's what happened later that I think is more interesting.
Is there
In,
fire?
in 1510, the cigar process in the Dominican Republic first became a real business. And the way it became a business is in 1510, they brought in the first shipload of African slaves to work the plantations. And that's when it grew fast enough
I think
to
you can say
become
the
an
word on
industry.
TV. He's going to have to bleep you.
No.
For what?
Nothing. He's being goofy.
Oh,
You said ship? Oh, shipload.
yes, ship load. So the industry started to grow much faster at that point. By 1844,
So we just fast forwarded 330 years.
Yeah.
yep, because nothing exciting happened except
You just
when
yada,
they came
yada,
more.
yada through 300 years of history. And that was on last night.
Well, and 1,510 years of history before that. Anyway, in 1844, the whole industry as an industry actually moved to an area that has nothing to do with the cigar industry today. And that is the area called Puerto Plata, which is on the north coast, pretty much far away from anything else that people think about in the DR. And the reason that the industry moved there is that was the center for international trade in the Dominican Republic. That's where the government of Spain set up their seat. And it's where they controlled or tried to control everything that was coming in and out of the DR. So the cigar industry made sense to be there. Of course, everything changed in 1959 when the Cuban Revolution hit, and most, not all, but most of the cigar producers and the tobacco growers left Cuba, and most of them came to the Dominican Republic. It took until the 1970s before they were able to export in any substantive way. There were older companies in the DR that were making cigars, like La Aurora, which is the oldest.
Right.
But all these other companies didn't really kick in a substantive way until the 1970s.
Do you think part of that's because there was so much production in the United States at that point and they just didn't need to import?
Part of it is that, but also a big part of it was their desire to get into machine-made cigars and the time it took for them to have the infrastructure for that.
Okay.
By 2009, so 50 years after the Cuban Revolution, they had gone from exporting virtually zero cigars to exporting 350 million premium cigars and 9 billion machine-made cigars a year.
Wow.
So they definitely grew a lot.
Yeah.
Just goes to show how small the premium,
The premium cigar
industry is.
industry is, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, just to give you a point of reference, cigar exports from the Dominican Republic are their second biggest source of revenue, at about $1 billion a year goes into the Dominican economy from the cigar business.
Really?
The number one export, that's the number two export. The number one export is, and this surprised the heck out of me, is gold. And they
The
export,
Dominican?
yeah,
Really?
yep. They export $4 billion a year in gold. And I don't know where in the country they get it from. Maybe people's teeth? I don't know.
I'm guessing the ground.
You think? I thought maybe from trees. You know, they have gold trees.
Yeah.
Did it really?
All right.
Gold grows on trees.
Don't we wish?
I didn't realize it was
Right next to the
a
money tree.
billion-dollar industry just from the Dominican.
Yeah. Now,
We
a lot of okay. So I'll save the rest for later.
next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Moose, let's give it a final review and a number.
It's mellowed out considerably. It's still very
Yeah.
tasty. I'm getting a lot of the earthiness and cocoa now, where it was more pepper before. I'm giving it a 9.5.
Nice. Paul?
I think it's settled down a lot also, and I'm just really enjoying the array of flavors that just keep popping up. I think the strength of the cigar is backed off to a medium plus. And the pepper, other than in a retrohale, the pepper is virtually gone. I agree with Moose. I give it a 9.5. I think this is a phenomenal cigar.
Scott?
Starting to get a little bit of the pepper on the tip of my tongue, but other than that, I don't know how to review it because there's so
much
So
going
much
on.
going on, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I got a little bit of cocoa, I got some sweetness, I got some citrus, I got that little bit of pepper, I got the H. Upmann in the punch. So it's really tough. Now I agree.
Otherwise known as up your punch.
Yes,
Up your punch.
I agree
Man.
with Paul that I do think the strength backed off. Seems to me also that it seems to me a lot of the flavor is coming from the filler as opposed doesn't seem to me like the wrapper is as predominant as a lot of other cigars.
I think it started out that way at the
Yeah.
initial light,
Yeah.
and once the filler got up and running, it contributed much more than is typical.
Yeah. So I guess the ratings were really the only thing to go with, and I agree with George. I'm giving it a 9.5.
George, hey, where is he anyway?
Which way did he go, George?
As for me,
As from
yeah, it got the strength absolutely backed off to where I could actually retrohale it now. And it is, you're getting a lot of pepper and cocoa through the retrohale. It's very sweet. It's an incredible cigar. It really is. And you can't really review and say, oh, I got this, I got that. You get everything.
I don't know that I've ever had a cigar
crazy.
that changed this much.
It's
or at least
crazy.
Nothing I can remember.
It's very complex.
It's like it changes almost every 2 puffs.
I agree with Charles. 9.5.
everybody
So-
agrees with somebody.
Yeah.
Can you give tomorrow's events real quick?
Tomorrow is Forged in Lancaster 2 to 6, and Perdomo in Richborough from 3 to 7.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget our
Smoke 'em if
pack
you got
show
'em.
next.
Life's too short.
Ciao for now, everybody.
Smoke often,
Cigars.
smoke happy.